Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Mrs. Lighton here with your ELA poetry lesson for today. Earlier in the week, you guys read a poem called Eating While Reading by Gary Soto, and you had the chance to fill out a couple charts. The first one being your thoughts and ideas about what was happening in the poem and why, or how you knew this was happening based on text evidence. And then also you had a chance to fill out a chart indicating which poetic devices were used in the poem, like rhyming, repetition, alliteration, and personification. Today we're going to kind of combine the two of those elements to talk about something that's very important to poetry and to stories. It's the main idea or the theme that the author is presenting to the reader. So a theme is defined as the message or lesson about life the author expresses in a poem or story. So the theme is kind of like the big umbrella, and underneath all of that falls the text structure, the sounds, and the poetic devices that the author uses to express this theme. A couple things about themes is that they are typically unsaid. So the author will not come out and directly say to you, here is the lesson that I want you to learn, or here is the main idea of my poem. That's kind of up to you as the reader to dig a little bit deeper, to figure out and maybe use your imagination to figure out what the theme is or what the lesson that the author is. What the lesson is that the author wants you to learn. So like I said, they're typically unsaid. Instead, themes are expressed through the text structure, sounds, and or poetic devices. And themes are also purposeful. Most authors write with a purpose, and that purpose is that they want you to take away something after reading their poems or stories. They want you to learn something, and in this case, it's the life lesson or the theme. So I've gone ahead and wrote down a couple common themes that we find in poetry or in stories. There are hundreds more, but these are just a few that I took to give you guys some examples. So we have perseverance or hard work, pride, loyalty, trust, love, friendship, self-love, forgiveness, dreams, goals, being yourself, jealousy, courage, or fear. I will post a copy of all of the lesson notes for you guys if you need to refer back to them. But those are just a few that I found that are pretty common. And if you look, perseverance and hard work. So I know it's not a poem, but if you've ever read The Three Little Pigs, it's clear that the theme of that story is that perseverance and hard work will definitely pay off in the end. Nowhere in the story is it said directly to you that perseverance and hard work pay off, but through the lessons that the characters learn and through the situations they find themselves in and the way that the author writes the story, you can tell that that is definitely the theme. So I found a poem that I wanted to read with you guys. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to kind of discuss the poetic devices and different text features that stick out to me, and then I'm going to share with you a couple of the themes that I found that go along perfectly with this poem. I just wanted to do this for you guys so that you knew exactly what you were doing when it's time to complete the activity. So the poem is called Why Me? I'm going to just move it a little closer so you guys can see as I'm reading. If you have to ask, why me, when you're feeling really blue, when the world has turned against you and you don't know what to do, when it pours colossal raindrops and the road's a winding mess, and you're feeling more confused than you ever could express, when the saddened sun won't shine and the stars will not align, when you'd rather be inside your bed, the covers pulled above your head, when life is something that you dread, and you have to ask, why me? Then, when the world seems right and true, when rain has left a gentle dew, when you feel happy being you, please ask yourself, why me? Then, too. So right off the bat, a couple things that stuck out to me was that there was definitely rhyming. Each stanza kind of pulled the reader in with the rhyming that the author chose. So we have blue, you, do, mess, express. It's kind of an intricate rhyming pattern, but there is rhyming words in there that are being used. The author also used personification. He describes messy roads and a saddened sun. We know that the sun doesn't feel human emotion like happiness or sadness. So the author comparing the sun to a human by saying that the sun is sad is an example of personification. And we also have the repetition, which I think is the most important. The title, Why Me, is seen several times throughout the poem. So the author is asking you to ask yourself the question, why me? And it's why me based on the emotions that we feel. So in the beginning, the author is describing sadness and dread, and in the end, he's describing happy feelings. So we all know that we sometimes feel feelings of sadness on some days and feelings of happiness on other days. So to go along with that, I think that the theme could be one of three things. You are enough. Love yourself through it all. Those kind of go hand in hand. So he's describing the sad feelings and asking, why me? Why do I have to feel this way? But then also on the happy days, why me? Why do I feel this way? What do I have that brings me joy in my life? And through it all, you should love yourself and accept all of everything that makes you you. The other theme that I thought was pretty relevant to especially what we are going through today is that this too shall pass. The author describes feelings of sadness in the first two stanzas and then feelings of happiness. So just like I said, we all have good days, we all have bad days. It's important to remember that the bad days will not last and that tomorrow is a new day. This too shall pass. And I think it definitely relates to being home and not going back to school. And you just have to remember that this will all end very soon, hopefully, and that there are brighter days ahead and that we will all be back at Huntington together soon. So I think a great theme for that poem is self-love and also this too shall pass. What you guys are going to be doing today is rereading the poem, Eating While Reading. I know you guys already read it earlier this week, but it's good to just get a refresh in your mind so that you can do the activity for today. So while you are reading, I want you to ask yourself a few questions. Be thinking about the poetic devices that the author is using. Be thinking about lessons that the writer or that the author may be trying to teach you. Does anything really pop out at you that could be a life lesson or a theme? You can ask yourself, did anything change or grow? So in the poem that I gave as an example, emotions change from happiness to sadness. Was there anything changing in this poem? And then what important part of life is this story or poem about? So just really dig deep to try and give me your ideas about what you think the theme of this poem. Is there a lesson that the author is trying to teach you? You are going to write a paragraph about the theme of the poem. Like I just said, I want you to explain how and why the author expresses this theme. So through what poetic devices, through what special words is the author using to describe this theme, and why? Why does the author think that this is an important lesson for you to learn? If you have any questions, please reach out. We are here to help you. I will post the lesson notes and a picture of the whiteboard for you guys so you can see it if you need to refer back. Get outside today if you can. It's going to be nice and sunny this morning, and I think that the weather forecast calls for rain later. So if you can get out and enjoy a little bit of fresh air before you do your homework, I think that would be a great idea. We miss you guys all so much, and we hope you are staying healthy.